IV hydration therapy, hormone replacement therapy, primary and holistic care, and advanced wound care and mobile services. At LifeGuide Healthcare, we bring care directly to you with mobile and in-home services available, conveniently serving the community with fast appointments and customized treatment plans. Call us today at 770-557-1079. LifeGuide Healthcare, your partner in better health.
ATL, each and every Friday we're coming together as a community, not just for good food, but for a greater purpose. We're raising funds to honor Shakima and Lavoy with permanent headstones, and to continue supporting families impacted by violence with Zona's Pull-Up Kitchen every Friday from 4 p.m. until everything is sold out. Now check this out, Zona's Pull-Up Kitchen will include escovitch, brown stew and roast fish, swai fish, jerk chicken, rice and peas and salad. Keep in mind, the menu does change every week.
Well, today's a new day. Give thanks a lot.
Complimentary soup with pull-up orders until it's done. Fish made to order, so call 470-893-4554 to place your order or for weekly location.
I feel good.
It's a pop-up, so locations will change weekly. Zona's Pull-Up Kitchen, each and every Friday from 4 p.m. until. And again, it's a pop-up, so call for the weekly location. Proceeds for Shakima and Lavoy's headstones.
Welcome. I am so excited today. You all are listening, and those of you who are on TV, I am Beverly Jones. This is with Conversation. We do real talk here. And we have real people, real situations. And today I have a person. She's not here just for real talk. She's for real. Okay, and someone that I love and adore and have known, and she's doing some great things. And how are you today, Dr. Adoma? I keep trying to call her Dr. Obama. Because she's a first lady. You look like a first lady. But
Thank
you
you
are so amazing. I had to have you on this show because you've been an inspiration to many, many people, not just in Georgia, but from coast to coast. And so you have some incredible, incredible stories. So I won't talk the whole hour about you because I want you to have some say-so in your amazing life. So how are you?
I am doing fantastic, and I do want to thank you for this opportunity to just be able to sit down and chat with you for a while.
Just chit-chat.
Yeah.
Yes, you have an amazing story. You are a doctor. You have several degrees. And one of the things that's going on, and the reason why I wanted you on today specifically is because it's back to school, right?
Yes.
And so this is just a perfect time to motivate young adults, children, those who are having problems. Do you mind telling just a little of your story, of your humble beginnings in terms of education and how you made it? To be a doctor. We all have a story. You know, I've told you my several lightning struck me several times story, right? And you have to keep on going. But what is your story?
Well, you know, before I even tell you my story, you know, Nelson Mandela said, education is the most powerful weapon you can use
Amen.
to change the world.
Yes.
And I believe that.
Well, he proved it.
I believed it, and I proved it.
Yes.
And so one of the things that I think that the young people would be inspired and motivated by is that I have a very humble beginning, like you said. I actually was a high school dropout. I had my first child at 18, my second child a few years later, and I was not married, and I was uneducated because I dropped out of school.
And people got to remember, uneducated and dumb is two different things.
Yes.
Okay? So you have scientists with just a high school education. So, I just want to let them know that your perseverance, and go on with the story.
And so I decided, after watching what happened with the people around me in different workplaces, what I noticed is that they were doing jobs that I could almost do blindly. And I could do it. I knew I could do it. They knew I could do it.
Right.
But the threshold was that you had to have a degree. And I didn't have a degree. So because I didn't have a degree, what I was doing is I was training everybody else to do the work, and they were making 2.5 times my.
You were the worker bee.
I was the worker bee.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And I went home one night and I cried and I said, I'm going to change my life. I don't have to live this status, and I decided I would go back to school. I went, I got a GED. I used to take my kids to class with me and set them right on the side. I went back, got my GED, and that wasn't enough. I wanted to go a little further. So then I went to, and I don't know if you remember, it was Georgia Perimeter then, many moons ago.
I went there too.
Okay, so I did an associate's degree, and then that wasn't good enough. I went back, I did a bachelor's degree. That wasn't good enough. And I did a master's, and then finally I did my PhD because I wanted to be in the top 1% of the people in the world who are considered an expert in their field.
Absolutely. And you are an expert in your field, and that is so motivating, especially right now when you have people, and I don't want to say people, I want to say young adults who don't know which way to go. They dropped out of school. They think that that's the end of the world. But you're here today, and, school opened, last week, to motivate, let them know it's not the end. It takes some time, but just to get them motivated is what I wanted you to do. And you can do it single-handedly, okay? I know I'm like you to do. So during that time, what was going through your mind?
Is the fear of I'm going to get left behind. My children are not going to have an opportunity to be able to take advantage of what we call the American dream, and to be able to live in the type of house, buy the type of car, travel. I realized that I was not going to be able to do those things unless I could find a career that would give me the opportunity to make more money.
Right. Oh, wow. And so you got your education out. So tell me some things that you're doing now.
Oh, my God.
We can go from the back to the front or from the front to the back.
Well, today I operate as a premier administrative and professional management firm. We specialize in training. We also we do computer and AI training.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
we know you're brilliant now.
Yes. And we also do some marketing. And we are a certified SBA, woman-owned small business.
Yes.
We're also certified as a DBE, disadvantaged business enterprise, in the state of Georgia, Oklahoma, Maryland, and Texas. So we're able to bid on jobs in all of those states as a certified business.
Wow. Okay, and this is your own business?
Yes, this is my own business.
That's
And
important.
The name of it, I patent my name. I mean, I have my name. My name is trademarked.
Okay.
So it's Diane Adoma Consulting, LLC.
Okay.
And this year, and I just want to share one thing, is I am so proud, and I want to tell the young people out there, I am currently working on one of the largest projects through GDOT that's ever been awarded in the state of Georgia. And my firm currently, we hire about 5 people full-time and multiple part-time and some interns as well.
Right.
And that's one of the largest contracts that I've been able to bid on and win.
Okay, and being an African-American woman, that's huge.
The only one on the project with a staff.
So that's huge.
Yeah.
And that let you know that how brilliant you are. It knows that, they do a background check, and a lot of African Americans do not get the bid.
Yes.
Okay, so to just be in the game is a game changer.
Yes.
But to be the winner or be awarded, I mean, that's amazing. Yeah, and so I'm inspired now. I'm inspired now. So, you got your PhD, you went through, you know, with your children and the sacrifices you had to do, what would you tell someone right now if you walked up to someone or they walked up to you and say, you know, I don't think I'm smart. I don't think I can do it. I dropped out of high school, but I want a better life. How would you direct them?
Well, the first thing I'm going to say to them is never give up and never put yourself down. One of the things that hold a lot of people back many times is in your mind. It's not whether or not you have the capability to do it. If you fall 7 times, get up 8 times. One thing is for sure, if you don't get up, if you don't believe in yourself, you'll never succeed. I know it sounds like basic advice, but that's the advice that you have to actually harbor in your brain and your heart in order to be able to advance and move forward.
Okay. You said you employ people.
Yes.
So if there's someone out there listening and they think that they have the attributes that you're looking for, how do they contact you? I mean, is it you're in the paper? I know you've had these major projects. So how would they contact you? Just and also it's a twofold. How did they contact you? And do you ever do any internships?
We do. And
Okay.
first 2-part question. If
Okay.
you go to my website, it's my name, dianadoma.com. If you go there, you'll find all my contact information. You'll also see that every quarter we actually put the pictures and the bios of our interns and some of our key staff is on my website. So all you have to do is go to my website and you'll be able to see exactly what we're doing.
And we're just going to keep pushing that today, your website, because
dianadoma.com.
Right, because we want people to come out there. We want you to inspire and motivate people the way that they should be. And I keep saying people because sometimes we think that only high school students dropped out of school, but there's a lot of adults walking around that just don't know how to get reacclimated back into the system. And so, you've shown that, you know, dropping out is not the end game.
Yeah.
That's just, you know, you just kind of had to get cranked up a little, as my dad would say.
Right.
Crank it back up, you know, keep on going, never stop. And, you know, you guys, this is only half of who she is, okay? So don't let her fool you that that's all she do. You know, your name has been out there for quite some time. And you do something else. You're in politics, or you were in politics.
I was.
Let's talk about how do you go from this woman? Now, GDOT is huge. That's Georgia Department of Transportation, for those of you who do not know. And it is hard for an African American to get one of those grants. But it's even harder when it's an African American female, you know, out there getting it. So you have to be a phenomenal woman to end up with a GDOT grant or GDOT contract. Yes. So I'm just so interested in all the things that you have done. But let's just talk about what made you go into politics. What was that? What was that clicked in your head? Because, you know, a lot of times, myself being a politician too, you got to be dragged to the front line. You got to be dragged. You know, I went kicking and screaming, and I've been in politics twice. And, you know, I'm like, nah. But sometimes it's like it was a jilt that hit me and said, it's time. What was your jilt?
Well, let me start by saying politics is not for the weak, the frail, and the scary.
And how many times have we heard that?
All throughout my entire career.
Yes.
You have to have guts.
You
have to be willing to stand up and be unpopular sometimes.
You got to take a licking and keep on kicking.
Yes.
That's what I used to always say. Yeah, you got to brush that off and keep going.
Yes.
You know, yes, it's a different kind of war.
It is.
Yes.
It is. And my passion for changing our community. As a matter of fact, they gave me this nickname, Little Shirley Chisholm, because I can see that. I ran campaigns on, I'm unbought and unbossed, and then they kind of spanked me along the way.
And that was a little Jose right there.
Yes. But I stood firm in what I believed in,
Right.
and I try to teach my children the same thing.
Okay.
If you believe in something, don't be afraid to stand
Don't
up,
give-
because
stand up and don't give
don't
up.
give up.
Yes.
And even when you don't win, you still win. You
Yes.
win because you had the guts and the courage to stand up, and you got to be willing to go through the fire with politics. It's not easy. Your whole life.
You got to go through earth, wind, and fire with politics. Yes.
Everything about you since you were born, since you popped out of the womb,
Yes.
it's on display for the public to scrutinize.
Yes.
And so
No privacy.
I always tell people, when skeletons drop out of the closet, dance with them in politics
I love
and keep it moving.
I love it. Yes, yeah. You have to have really thick skin.
You do.
To be in it. Yeah, and no shame in your game.
No shame.
No
You gotta-
shame in
you
your
gotta-
game.
You got to
Uh-huh.
own your story.
Yes.
That's what politics taught me.
Yes.
Is that you have to own your story and look to the sky like Earth, Wind, and Fire say.
Right.
And just say, this is my story, and I'm not going to be ashamed of it,
No.
and I'm going to own it.
Right.
And that's what I did.
But you know, all of our story has teachings in it.
Oh, my God,
You know,
yes.
people think the worst person has a story, and that story can be the best to the next person.
Yes.
You know, and I always tell people that you don't think that. Don't be ashamed of your story. Tell your story, because there's people out there that need to hear it. And that's why I was just so enthralled with you and your story and how motivating it is. And you kept on pushing. Nothing can hold you back. Yeah, I do think you're a little Shirley now. I see why they got the little Shirley. Yes. So, okay, so you have beat the drop out of school syndrome. You have beat the black woman I can do it syndrome. You have beat that I can get this big job. GDOT is huge. All over the world they have transportation, right? That's how I look at it. What I say is huge. So, what are you going to be beating over the head next?
Well, you know, we talked about community earlier, and I said that community is very important to me. Developing communities,
Okay.
and especially working with children. And so what I decided to do, I said, okay, I have a for-profit, but you know what? I want to do more. And so I launched my nonprofit under a family foundation.
Okay.
It's called the Diane Daniels Foundation.
Oh, I love it.
And one of the things we're focused on is building. We're looking for space now to build a youth entrepreneur training center. And I'm proud to announce, never announced
Wait a minute,
before, I'm
but
doing
say-
it on
say
your
what-
show.
Okay. So this is, what is it called again?
The Diane Daniels Foundation.
Okay.
And it's a nonprofit organization. And I'm meeting with a firm now, an investor now, who is exploring financing the Entrepreneur Training Center for youth.
Oh my God, that
and
is
I think he's
huge.
pulling it up now. And we are a valid 501c3, meeting
Okay.
all the qualifications and certifications required. Met with these people, and I just started chatting with them. I said, you know, here's my baby. This is my pet peeve.
Right.
But this is how I live, but this is how I want to give back
Right.
to the community. And so we launched it. And when I launched it, everybody laughed at me. They say, you're never going to be able to get anybody to invest that kind of money.
Because that is
And
what they put in our head.
that's what they put in our head.
Yes.
And so just last week, I'm meeting with some people. Keep your fingers crossed. You know how we do, right? The
Right,
prayer.
right,
Yeah, we
yes,
sending up
yes,
many prayers
yes.
because so many children need to learn entrepreneurship, even with an official education, even with degrees. You still need to understand how the business
when
sector
you
works.
are an African American, degrees, you can't just have a bachelor's.
Right.
That would get you in the door.
That's
and
it.
get you a good job. Masters take you a little higher. But even as African American people, women especially, you got to have 2 PhDs.
Yes.
For some of the requirements. That's the expectation.
Yes.
That we have to do. We have to do double, triple, quadruple of the work
That's
just
true.
to get
Just
a
to get
chance
in
at a seat at the table.
Well, I want to say I was a keynote a few months ago for this organization, and it was with a lot of youth. And one little young lady, she raised her hand to ask a question, and she said, well, Dr. Adoma, I know lots of people with degrees, and they're in the unemployment line, and they're not making any money, and you're talking about education is this, and she went on and on. And I say, what is your name? I say, stand up. I say, I want to thank you so much for that question. Let me answer it, because there may be other people in the room who feel the same way.
Right.
I say, so I can tell you something. You're absolutely right. Education may not always make you the most money. It may not always, get you the best job. But here's what it will always do for you. I say for many jobs and careers, you have to have the credentials to even be at the table. I say, so
get
now,
in the door,
to get in the door,
to get to the table.
like you were saying earlier. So if HR has a scale or a measuring tool that says, okay, you can apply for this, but you must have a master's and 1 year of experience or whatever it is. If you don't have that master's, you can't even compete, because that's a requirement to be at the table. So I said, if you want to be at the table, give yourself many options, because there are many tables that you can sit at.
Right. And what is so amazing about you is sometimes education does backfire, because sometimes you have more education than the HR person,
Yes.
than the person that's actually is the manager.
Yes.
And so they don't want you to come in and steal their thunder. And what is so amazing about you is you found a way to supersede and keep on going through the door. Even though one might be closed, you know how to take that Wonder Woman kick and kick it open and keep on going and keep on going. And so what you've shown people is don't let nothing stop you. Like that McFadden song, ain't no holding me back.
Right.
You're on the move.
Right.
And that's who you are. You're on the move. And so what we're going to do, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about how to kick the door down. When we come back, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. And then we're going to come back with your fire. We done lit, the flame is burning, but we're going to come back with your fire right after this commercial break.
It's all about Caribbean International Shipping. That's right. Do you need more information on shipping your items to the U.S. Southeast region or to the Caribbean? Have you ever heard of Caribbean International Shipping? You shop, they pack, and ship. They also offer residential pickup services. Support our business, like, share, and call. For your barrel shippings, let us know. The number to call is 470-718-9675 on WhatsApp or 770-323-1111. Caribbean International Shipping, the only way to send your stuff to the islands.
Why you riding around with that big crack in your window? You know you can get a ticket for that. Hey, you need to call Cracked Auto Glass. Certified techs servicing all your glass needs. We repair windshields, door glass, back and vent glass, regulators and motors, semi and heavy equipment glass, and we offer a lifetime guarantee. Cracked Auto Glass. Contact us at 678-720-7265. That's 678-720-7265. Cracked Auto Glass, the only glass company you need.
Queens, some invitations simply ask you to attend. This one invites you to become. You are invited to an unforgettable evening of healing, purpose, sisterhood, and transformation. Experience authentic connection, meaningful conversations, and a community of women walking boldly in purpose. Come expecting encouragement, renewal, worship, and a life-changing encounter. Join us Saturday, July 11th, 2026 at the beautiful Velvet Bean Cafe in Conyers, Georgia.
you need to be on like a 50-cent corn. All that you've done. I'm so proud of you because you paved the way for so many people who thought, when you said that, you dropped out of school and then you went for a GED. And some people think, okay, I got a GED, but that wasn't good enough for you. You said, I'm better than that, and you kept going. You changed those alphabets from a GED to a BA to, went all through the alphabets, right?
Yes.
And people don't realize that. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. So where did you get all this vigor from? Well, your parents, I got a text, and they want to know, where is she from? I think they want to go down to your hometown and drink some of that Miss Adoma water.
Yes.
So they can have this same vigor. And you're always, one thing, I just want to say this about you personally. You always are smiling, happy, and doing so many things for others. So you got a big heart with this. So, life has not put you down to a point where, I made it and you need to go out and get yours. And that's what a lot of people do. But you saying, I made it, and I'm throwing back the net or the rope so I can pull some of you guys forward. So let's just start off, with mom and dad or your hometown. Where did this juice come from?
Well, my mom was a very hard worker. I have observed her for years in her younger days. Of course, she died back in 2013.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Just excellent work ethic. We were dirt poor, but always clean, and hair was always combed. And, so I come from that type of background, didn't even know, and I know we've heard many people say that, didn't even know how poor we were until I blossomed into adulthood, and I'm like, oh my.
But have you ever really thought about that comment, how poor we were? Because when in retrospect, if you look back, you realize how rich you were.
Yeah, rich in other areas.
Rich in other areas, yes. Because you had land.
Right. And so I look at some of our communities today, and I say, well, we didn't have much, but we were still, our hair was combed, we were clean, and we didn't have the best top of the line food items, but we had food. I don't ever remember being hungry.
Yes.
I remember if you didn't get to the table 9 times.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
You had other brothers and sisters?
Yes.
Okay.
We come from a heavy military family.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
there were seven of us, including me. I'm the baby.
Okay.
And all of my brothers spent the maximum number of years in a different branch of the service. And in my entire family, we have more than 255 plus combined years of military service representing every area of the military. So I tell people, just because I haven't been in the military, we are patriotic.
Yes. Oh, that is amazing. So where did you ever go? Did your parents or your father go overseas?
My parents were not military. All my brothers and my uncles
so
my nephew recently retired as a colonel. He lives in Oklahoma City. I hope he's listening right now, because he is one of my favorite nephews. But we've had, like I said, every branch represented for the maximum number of years that you can spend there. A matter of fact, my brother who retired from the Marines, he was a command sergeant major. And right before he retired, they were petitioning, I believe President Bush was president then, they were petitioning for him to stay in longer because they needed his skill set. His skill set was that valuable. And because we were not at war then, we didn't go to war until after that, he retired, and I've never seen anything. You would have thought he was an emperor or something like that. When he retired. He's right down in Paris Island, in Beaufort, and it's just amazing. But I believe all my brothers today have been successful, and because of their military teachings and trainings and their home training.
And I agree with that. I'm a military brat.
So you understand.
Yes, I definitely understand. We were so sad when my dad decided to retire, because we just had fun everywhere we went. My dad liked to get up and go and make us get up out the bed. One of the things my dad would say, either you go outside and play or you stay in the house and help your mama clean up. Okay.
Either way.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So we go out. He made us go out and meet people. And so now I see where your bubbly personality come from, because you have family that has been around the world and came back and could teach you even though you weren't there. And that's how I feel, from military expanded near and far. Yeah, it does something to you. Don't you agree? Being around military people?
I have seen it. My brothers, I mean, their habits, making their bed, immaculate, hanging everything just so. And I'm like, just throw it over there, but they have those type of
pants with creases in them.
Everything. The T-shirt got to be, well, you know the story.
Yeah, creases in the pants. I couldn't get over that. Yeah,
everything.
Yeah.
But I watched them, use their benefits to get educated. All of them use their benefits to buy homes with all the benefits.
Yes.
And back then, I don't know exactly what they all are now, but back then, those were some good benefits. I mean,
yeah. Because as African American, that was the place to go if you were not going for higher education to be a doctor, lawyer, which was far and few in between.
Yes.
The military was a saving grace.
Yes.
And we were so sad when my dad decided to retire, because we really love moving. And so, that kind of is a psyche too, is to get out of your own backyard and go to someone else's backyard and see how they live. That's educational within itself. So,
yes, it is.
And I can kind of see you are a woman of the world. You're quite worldly. I've seen you work the room.
You got to get out of your element.
You can work the room. I have seen that, yes. And so that's what you do, and that's what makes you so special. So I've gone to a couple of your events, and usually they're standing room only, and I appreciate you letting me stand in the corner, okay? I'm okay in the corner.
You were just at an event, and it was wonderful.
Yes, you let me sit at the table.
Yes.
On that event. You guys are just joking. But she have amazing events, and she has people from all around Georgia, other states, different ethnicities, different occupations. So, I mean, every time I see you, I never see the same person twice at your event. So what do you have up and coming now?
I'm doing a lot of work now with the National Council of Negro Women.
Okay.
And I'm working with senior citizens. We're telling people wisdom is on the ballot.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay.
And so that's coming up. Also with the foundation, we're going to be doing a clothing drive, a food drive. And I just found out just this week that we still have a large percentage of our youth right here in DeKalb County who are not proficient in math and reading. And so that's an opportunity for my nonprofit to go in and see if we can bring a team of tutors in there.
That's what I was going to say. And I know two people that I'm going to contact on your behalf.
Thank you.
That are math tutors. Yes, So, learning is beautiful. People have to realize that. And sometimes people don't know their true potential until they get a tutor sometimes people need just that hands-on.
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes, you give them a book and say, here, learn. But sometimes people need that one-on-one.
Yes.
So, okay, so that's for your nonprofit. You said you're doing a clothes drive.
A clothing drive.
A clothing drive where?
We're probably going to do it at a clubhouse. We're waiting on the confirmation for that venue.
Okay.
But once I get it, I'll send it to you. And
Absolutely.
And hopefully you can air it and let people know.
I certainly will.
And
yes.
the clothing drive, the clothes are not beat up and bruised. They're fairly new, in excellent condition clothing. The food drive, we're going to partner with other organizations to make it a little bigger and better. I don't know, when I was growing up, I don't know about you, but I don't remember so many people needing school supplies.
I don't either.
I just can't. I've tried to think back and say we were poor, but the pencils look like we always had those things, pencils and pens.
Because you weren't going to get another one if you broke it or lost it. It was conditioning.
Right.
You could come home every day and say, Mom, I need a pencil.
Right.
You kept it in the pencil case. You kept it at school.
You did.
And so now things are so, abundant.
Yes.
Yes. So a lot of times, I'm not saying they do this, but sometimes we know that if we lose it, we'll get another one somewhere.
Right.
Yeah. So, but that's awesome to be doing, because a lot of times, I know in the last couple of weeks, they've been having some amazing backpacks.
Oh, yeah.
And giving them out. And I think at one place they said they gave out like maybe 50,000. So that means there's no
huge.
child left without
behind,
a backpack.
right.
Yes. Yeah. And so what is it I see you doing, helping the young, you're helping the elderly. Let's talk a little more about seniors, because that is, I call that the forgotten race.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
People think that, okay, you've lived, your house is paid off, you don't have a car note, but people don't realize that it's the complete opposite.
Yes.
Yeah. And so what is it that you're doing for seniors?
Well, what we want to do for seniors is, first of all, we're finding that a lot of seniors are struggling with their utility bills. Utility bills seem to be skyrocketing, and when seniors are on a fixed income, or even if you're not a senior, you may be disabled or not able to work and make as much income, or maybe you're laid off, whatever it may be. Being able to pay the electric, the gas and the water.
And that's a stressor. And especially if you have some type of disability.
Yes.
Those stressors can kill you.
Yes.
Just worrying about the everyday mundane things that
Right.
people don't think about. So
Yeah.
how do they, if you have a program, what is the name of the program, and how do they get on it?
There's a program, and I should have bought her a card today. It's called HEAT, though, HEAT. I met her when I spoke a week or so ago at the Georgia Public Commission meeting.
Okay.
I public commented, and I met her. She gave me her card and told me they actually get grant money to be able to help seniors. And I think they'll help pretty much anybody, but they focus on the seniors.
Right.
But that's an organization. You can Google it. It's HEAT.
Okay.
And they help individuals with their utility bills.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I think I'm going to pass that on to a couple of people. HEAT. Mm-hmm. Okay, and we'll figure out what that stands for in just a moment.
Right.
Yeah, because, one of the problems we're having right now is Social Security.
Yeah.
They're cutting back on Social Security. People are barely eating.
Right.
And so now they're cutting back. So I'm sure that once they get acclimated and go to HEAT, I'm sure that there'll be, we don't want seniors to not feel like I've worked, this is my glory days. We don't want to turn glory into gloomy.
Right.
The big picture was that you work for 20, 30 years, you retire, and you go to Florida. Or
lay on the beach.
And lay on the beach.
Yes.
Yeah, and so that dream has collapsed, and
Yeah.
so, I hope they'll be able to go to HEAT, and as soon as you get me the information, of course, I'll pump it out there to
Sure.
make sure that, the seniors know that there's a platform
Right.
for them. Yes. So.
And so many seniors are having to choose between, do I pay this bill, or do I buy food, or do I get my medicine? That's rough.
Yeah.
Nobody that has aged
In America. Yes.
should be having to make those types of tough choices.
And no one in
Those are-
DeKalb.
Right.
Let's bring it home. Let's bring it
Right.
home. No one in DeKalb should have to make
Survival.
that.
You
yes.
have to have water. You have to have heat. You have to have those things.
And that's survival for your body.
Yes.
But you need a cell phone.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, you really. I lost my
Yes.
cell phone, and and it was more devastating than anything that I could imagine.
You can't do anything without your cell phone.
And people said, "Well, it's just a cell phone." I
Right.
said, "I only know one phone number by heart, so I can only call one
Me too.
person."
I don't even know my children's numbers.
I know one phone number, maybe two,
Yeah.
maybe two. Right. And I'm like, gosh, how do we get along without the
Before.
cell phone? Yeah.
Yeah, and that brings us to the point of, and maybe this will be another discussion, to talk about AI. I'm partnering now with an AI firm.
Now, you have to be
and-
smart to be part of AI?
People,
You have no. I take that back. You have to be brilliant.
well, that's the future. AI is the future. And so the seniors are going to have to learn how to use those platforms, because eventually paper checks are going to go away. Just like, they're not making any more pennies, the coins and dollars. This stuff is going away. And so we want to make sure that the seniors
We're
can
equipped.
Yes, to navigate the
Yes.
process so that they're not maybe missing getting their check because they forgot to push a button or they forgot to log in to something. And that's been a challenge for the
See,
seniors.
I never even thought about that. I never even thought about the checks, but I know I wear AI out. I told people I'm
You and me
married. I
both.
call it Al.
Yes.
I say I'm married to Al. I mean, I hate to be like that,
Yeah.
and I'm going to take a blast in the past. I remember my grandparents living on a farm, and I remember and this is going to tell my age, I remember when the microwave came out and the big fuss they were making, saying it's going to give you cancer. It's going to give you cancer. They didn't get a microwave for a long time. And that's how I think about AI, how people are reacting to that.
Right.
And I've had to tell a lot of people that everything new usually has a hard time forging through.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And if I might add, you look at this little device here that everybody have now. When this first space shuttle was launched, I believe I'm thinking 1969,
Yeah,
all
yes.
the computing power that they needed to launch that shuttle was here. Now think about
Really?
that. Think about that. That's all it was. You can go Google that. And so what I say to people, like, I want to piggyback off what you said, is that everybody was saying, oh, we're going to get cancer, we're going to get
Yes.
cancer.
We did, but we're
did
not
get
saying
cancer.
we're not saying it
And
came from this or the microwave.
So the cell phones and data and innovation will always be progressive, and it's going to always usher in a whole new era. And so what people have to do is recognize what comes with transforming or ushering in new technology. There's always pros and cons, but being the former politician that we both are,
Yes.
one of the most important things that we will agree on is that having the right policies and the right regulations and the right leadership in place.
No, bingo.
Okay, I'm
with
gonna
that
be quiet,
leadership.
'cause I want
With that
you to-
leadership.
Yes.
Yeah. No matter what you have.
Yes.
No matter what the county, the city, the government give you, if you don't have the right person in place that has a heart
navigate
for
it.
the people and the tenacity to be able to navigate.
Right.
Okay. The rocket is not going to shoot up.
It's not going to, and people say, well, what's your thoughts on data centers? I try to not give a thought. I try to let them know the facts. Data centers are all around us. They're in closets. They're in buildings. How do you think we're all able to use this device like
Right.
we're doing it?
Right.
So the key to our communities, particularly, socioeconomically disadvantaged communities,
Right.
the key to their success is not running from the technology. The key is focusing on making sure you hold people accountable
Yes.
to put the right policies in place, because I can tell you, son, your community is going to dry up if you don't embrace some type of technology.
But we have to embrace technology. It is the
Yes.
way of the world.
It's the future.
Yeah, it is the future. And everything that came out, people was afraid of it.
That's true.
Yeah, everything. People were afraid of there was one point in time that people were afraid of the refrigerator.
That's right.
That you was going to die from the refrigerator. The big one in my grandmother's life was the microwave. Oh, no. It's going to give you cancer. Yeah, and I tell people about that all the time, how my grandmother for years
And they
wouldn't get a
ran from it.
microwave. They ran from it. But now, all they do is jump up and hit a few buttons. But it's the will of the world. And in biblical sense, it says that we were going to get wiser, and I think that we have to just be progressive. And that's one thing about you. You didn't let one thing hinder your life. It wasn't a stepping stone, it was a pebble. But you learned how to step on that pebble and keep on rising. And that's what we have to do. Sometimes you might not get a block or a step. you just might get just an increment, but you got to learn how to use everything that you have.
And you never grow in your comfort zone. You never grow. I always say, in my comfort zone, that's my resting stage.
Okay.
Because the obstacles and the challenges and all the negative experiences, all the haters, all the people, the naysayers, everybody who's trying to hold you back, you got to let them people propel you to fly.
But you know your haters make you greater.
Well, yes, they do. That's why you
They
got
don't even
to,
understand
hey,
it.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. Yeah, right. Yeah, you know, because, you know, they keep you in check.
They do.
They keep you in check.
Keep you on your
But-
toes.
And also, they take you to another spiritual level.
They do.
You know, during my tenure, I was attacked every day. You know, it was like, oh, let me put on my armor. And people's like, well, you know, people who was not religious, you know, they would be like, oh, you carry a gun? I said, no, I carry a Bible.
Spiritual armor.
Right, yeah. Put on your armor. But yeah, your haters make you greater.
They do.
Yes,
You learn from them. Keep
We
them
both
close.
we both have been down that road, and we're still here, and you are still doing great things. I have never ever seen you leave home without a smile. I have never. You're always, you know, within a good spirit. I've known you for a couple of years, and you're always talking. I've never even heard you talk about people. You know, ladies and gentlemen, you can't get no dirt from her. So don't even call her complaining, thinking she's going to help you talk about your neighbor, because she's not. By the time you leave, by the time you get finished talking to you, you're going to go and knock on their door and say, forgive me. Because that's the kind of person you are. You always laugh, and you're always jovial. You always have something positive to say. So what keeps you upbeat?
I am a spiritual person. I'm a praying person.
Okay.
And
In politics, you got to pray day and night.
You
Yeah.
do. And sometimes no human can comfort me. And I'm happy that I believe in a higher being. And some days, you know, because sometimes humans can only respond to whatever you're sharing or whatever their interpretation of your situation is.
Right.
But I believe in a higher being or a God who see all the intimacies of what I'm going through and know the good, the bad, the ugly, and know how to guide me. And I can tell you now, I've said some prayers, and while I was still praying, I've gotten some answers to them.
Amen.
So that is my
Amen. And
strength.
you're spiritual. Oh my
Yes.
goodness. What are you not? That's the next question. What are you not? But you know what? It's just so great to have young women who is still alive that's able to tell their story. We read about great women all the time, but just to have you here walking the walk, talking the talk, but then you take the talk to another level and you do the act, and then you take it to another level because you're successful. And so that's what we need. So I want you to tell young girls and young boys, you know, I worked in the correctional, and I had to teach, and my stories, I have some sad stories, and I always, every day, I had to try, before I went to work, I tried to find something that was motivating. What would you say right now that is motivating to people who are going through it and can't see the light at the end of the tunnel? Can't see a way out of no way. Can't make a way out of no way. You know, what would you say? What is your motivating either quote, saying? Because I have never seen you without a smile. I said, this lady got some pretty teeth. I said, she's just smiling because she has pretty teeth. You know,
my dentist would love to hear that.
Really, but what comes out of your mouth and your aura isn't just about the teeth, but it's about the insight and inspiration that you give other people. So what is that? Where does that come from?
You have to protect your peace, your inner peace.
Okay.
There's something that you have to grasp onto, and that will keep you going, because when hard times hit, when obstacles hit, when challenges hit, and it's okay because you're human, your immediate thought is, I give up. You're
I'm
human.
tired.
I'm tired. I can't take
they
it
keep
no more.
bothering me. I'm going to hurt them if they bring it on.
Yes. And people who say they've never said that, I'm afraid of them because there's something
Yes.
wrong there.
Right.
Because you should it's okay to be upset, to be disappointed, to be, humiliated, all these adjectives.
It's
that
part of
describe-
life.
It's part of
it's
life.
part of life.
It
Yes.
is not what happens to you in life.
Yes.
It's how
not your
you
end
cope.
game.
It's not your end game.
Yes.
It is how you cope. And where you started don't have to be where you end up. And my
Amen.
life
Yeah.
course have proven that. Where I started, I was determined I wasn't going to end up there. And I'm not there.
But that was deliberate. Don't you feel like that your life sometimes when you look
Yes.
back over it, it was deliberate?
Yes.
That you had to come from the
Right.
bottom to get to the top?
Right.
Because you had to be an example?
Yes. Yeah. And the easiest thing to do, is to just give up. That's the easiest thing to do. So what the young people and the audience need to take away from this is that as long as you don't give up, you will win. It's the law of averages. It's the law of numbers. You just keep on going, no matter how many mistakes you've made.
Get up.
You forgive yourself. God will forgive you, and you will win.
Okay. Amen.
We will win.
You got me saying amen, amen, amen.
Amen.
Okay. So you always have an event going on. Everybody who's anybody who knows somebody, right?
boy. Yeah.
So what is, we got maybe a minute or so left. And so do you have anything up and coming that you would like to kind of give a shout out to?
We're going to be hosting a workshop in about 2 weeks. I'm getting the flyer ready now to help small businesses who want to become certified to do business with the government.
Oh,
We're going to provide
okay.
them with some key information. We also are going to have an add-on to that, teaching, particularly, I want to focus on the seniors, teaching them how to use basic AI, just basic.
Okay.
And I think that will, provide a lot of good educational information to them
Okay.
to help them navigate some of the technology without them being afraid of it. So that's going to be coming up in 2 weeks.
Awesome. I use, I didn't know how to use it, but I can't live without it almost. It just gives me a different perspective. It doesn't tell me, I don't do everything it tells me, but it gives me a different perspective.
Right.
But Dr. Odama, this has been a pleasure to have you. I'm so glad that you took the opportunity and the time to come on the show. I know even more I always thought you were amazing, but now I think you're Superwoman, with the suit on.
I need to spin around in the
You
phone
need to
booth.
spin around like Wonder Woman, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but thank you, for being on Real Talk. And so that's what Real Talk is about, getting people out here who are doing great things, but have some real substance in what they say and do. And we appreciate you, and we will certainly send out some plugs about all the things you're doing. And God bless you for who you are and what you are. And it's hard for people in radio land and TV land to know, but I've been around you, and like I said, you work the room. And when people come to your events, they don't leave, they leave whole. Okay? And so continue to do what you have been doing all these years. You are amazing. You are an example. And, God bless you in everything you touch. Thank you for coming on board. I thank my brother for introducing me to you and all the other people. But we want you to come back for part 2, okay?
Definitely.
So you will be back. You guys, you heard it. That's a promise. This is an amazing woman. Look her up and see all the great things she's doing. Not everyone get a big, giant government contract. And you have an African-American woman here that's saying that, yes, I can do it, and I'm doing it. May God bless you all. Beverly Jones with Real Talk. And that's exactly what we had today. Thank you, Dr. Odama.
And thank you.
Oh, no problem. We got a part 2 in the mix.